Greetings, salutations, happy Wednesday, June the 24th, 2026. It's already in the 70s this morning and looking to be about 83 degrees in the New York City area. I think the high was 29 degrees Celsius for those not in the U.S. Basically, everyone else, we're still in this crazy Fahrenheit system. Right now, it's 70 degrees Fahrenheit. It's going to be 83, 84, reaching 29 degrees Celsius today. So a perfect, one might argue, summer day. Sunny, clear, the air is pretty good, and there's no World Cup match today at MetLife Stadium, which means all of our lives will be just that much easier. So I had a friend I was talking to, and he's from Mexico, actually. And I was just spitting venom about FIFA and the World Cup just because it's so inconvenient transportation-wise right now. And he goes, okay, you can leave it. He basically told me to tone it down because he loves the World Cup so much. Even my own wife is totally into it. So I said, well, it's nothing personal. It's just that it screws up all of our transportation. Now, tomorrow we do have a match, and I'm going to be at a dinner in Lower Manhattan or in Soho, but I think the timing's going to work out because I think I'll be leaving when the match is starting, and so it'll be pretty quiet, and I'll be coming back after the match is over, and so things should be fine. But it's amazing how it can really, there's events at MetLife all the time, but the World Cup, because of people coming in and out of Manhattan to New Jersey through the Lincoln Tunnel and other, overland as well, it really creates a mess. It really, really does. So anyway, it's exciting though, and it will be over soon. So you can tell my ambivalence about it, about the whole thing in particular. Although it's so cool to see people walking around with their jerseys from all over the world, having a great time. They seem to be in great spirits. They're enjoying all the New York sights, the pizza. You can there is a very good energy around it, which I find kind of, inspiring, if you will. So anyway, here we are, June 24th. Gosh, we're almost done with June, if you can believe that, which means we are halfway done with this year. I don't know what happened, but we're halfway done. What else is going on? Yeah, I'm over a week into changing my diet again and being more disciplined, high protein and all of that. It's been a bit frustrating because I've been fairly disciplined, tracking everything. Like I've done this before. I've done it for quite a while, except that it is not moving the needle right now on the scale, even though I feel better, and it's such a great metaphor for doing anything hard. And, the older we get, it's harder and harder. The first time I ever really did this was a number of years ago, and it worked really well. This time is harder. But I'm not, the difference is that I'm not going to give up because the science is the science. So, we'll just keep going. And I do feel better. Eating higher protein. I'm eating, vegetables as well. And I'm just, brown rice and just kind of watching the carbs and certainly keeping the total consumption down. I do feel better, even if it's going to take longer than I want for the weight to come down. So that's a good thing. Energy is a very good thing. It definitely increases energy. Higher protein does, at least for me. So that's really good. Now, what's on my mind? I've got YouTube on my mind today, and what I'm thinking about is, we are in this world where you've got all these different social media platforms and media platforms, and, you just can't be, if you're a small creator or you're a small business owner or whatever, you individually, it's very hard to be Gary V, to be everywhere. If you don't know who Gary V is, Gary Vaynerchuk, he runs, he started off selling wine online, got very successful doing that. And then it morphed into an incredible media business. And so, he's always talking about being everywhere all the time, all day long, tons of comments. And, but realistically speaking, there are different channels. You know, you've got Substack, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, which I loathe, and LinkedIn, etc. Okay. So what is my point? Well, it can be a massive distraction and a massive opportunity. So I've been posting the Bigger Stage podcast on the Bigger Stage channel on YouTube. The problem is, well, I should say the opportunity is that in its current format, which is the long form talking format, and this is going to be relevant to you, whatever you're building. Okay, I promise. Just hang on here for a couple minutes. But in this case, I started off with a conversational, interviewing different people about different things. And I've kind of focused on founder CEOs. All right. But as I got to thinking of it more, I thought about YouTube as a money generating platform itself. Now, podcasts, conversational podcasts, they take a lot. If you're not already a celebrity that can draw an instant audience, they take a long time to develop. I mean, you really have to be making money in other places. And so there's this tension where it takes a lot of effort to put out the content, but it also takes a very long time to maybe make money from it. And even that's no guarantee. I mean, nothing's a guarantee. But I think when I think about innovation, I think about one thing I've learned over the years is that I'm constantly looking at what is the thread through this? What is the thing that the message that's underneath all of this that's the same that could be done in different forms? And so as we're all trying to think of how to innovate, how to adapt, how to change as trends change, as jobs change, a lot of people are being laid off from tech jobs and trying to decide, do I even want to go back into corporate or start my own thing? Or you're growing a business, and like me with my last business, an orange meteor comes back to Earth that was once here, and that it's going to massively disrupt your ability to make money in the current business. So either way, whether you leave that business or remake it, you got to change it up a lot. Okay, so what am I really talking about here? Well, I've been thinking for some time about what I ultimately want to do with YouTube. And the truth is that I want to make money using YouTube. I want to generate revenue. Now, there's multiple ways to do that. There's, the views, the AdSense views. But there's also money from, selling something niche enough that, you can sell training, you can sell services, you can sell whatever it is because people watch your video, they like what you have to say, they hire you. That means we've got to progress beyond the mere podcast. Now, I'm not putting down podcasts. I love podcasting. I love the interview format podcasting. I love it. But I spent some time last night really going into what if I were to develop a more niche, on YouTube that appealed to more people who go to YouTube looking to solve a problem, for example. And you can see in terms of the amount of money people make on various different topics on YouTube, you can see pretty clearly what pays and what doesn't pay. Entertainment stuff is really hard to monetize. It's not impossible, but it's very hard. And so I've landed on something that is really cool. I'm kind of hyped about it. And as an insider, you're going to find out what that is. So let's see. This is my current niche for YouTube that I'm considering doing. I help experienced professionals launch themselves as their own company and sell their ideas, their story, their why to win clients and build influence on their own. Now, that is upstream from working with founder CEOs who want to become iconic, want to scale their messaging. They've already built the business. But as I started thinking through it, I thought, I can stage this. I can put upstream targeting on YouTube and still get to CEO founders downstream. Underneath all of that is about selling ideas, selling your why, selling your story, selling the meaning that is important to you that other people can see themselves in. And that when you go deep enough, that idea crosses over. And so I'm going to keep working on this. I know it's there. One of the things that I was working with Claude on was, do I start a new channel or do I just continue with the Bigger Stage channel to try this niche? It's pretty clear that it makes more sense efficiency-wise to use the same channel, continue with my long-form content as aspirational. So the podcast long-form conversations with CEOs who have built something impressive, that's where you can see what is possible when you've done years of the work. But the YouTube videos, the teaching videos are going to be about, how to sell yourself in a world where your degree, what if you were at a big company and your role was eliminated, you got fired and you were at a big company. You used to walk into a room and say, I work for SpaceX or, just name a company that's in the news right now, right? I work for IBM. That brought with it a certain credibility. Why? Because IBM wouldn't hire just anybody. So you feel almost I don't want to say it's a false sense of security, but there is a sense of security that evaporates when you leave or are ejected against your will. And I think our world is going to continue to see more and more and more of that kind of volatility. Well, the one thing that cuts through all of that is to be able to communicate, to be able to tell stories, to be able to influence through the way that you tell stories that brings other people in, whether you're on an actual physical stage, online, having a business meeting, they're all a stage. And so when you go deep enough, you find the aquifer that runs underneath between the different, to torture and extend the metaphor, between the different communities that you serve. So I guess the bottom line lesson here that I'm reminded of, that I've learned so well over the years, is don't get too stuck on what you do. Keep investing on why you do it, who you do it for, the meaning underneath, because what you do is fungible. But why you do it and the meaning behind it, that is tied to your values and your experience and what you actually, the thing that you can bring to the table. And that can take form in many different ways. And so staying stuck on this is what I do over here, that doesn't necessarily translate to another space. In this case, YouTube, right? It's not going to translate the same way, at least not right now. And I think there's a big, big lesson there. So I could think of a whole bunch of other analogies, but we're over time already. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope that's helpful as you're rethinking maybe, or thinking about your venture or a venture you want to start. Invest in the meaning. What is important to you, and connect that to something that is important to somebody else that's going to help them achieve their goal. And then you've got a winner. You've got something you can actually sell. Even if what you sell changes a million times. All right, that's what I got for today. Please be good to yourself and others. Thanks as always for listening. Please share the show with a friend who's trying to build something and just needs a little bit of daily vitamins to get them going one more day closer to their dream and closer to helping somebody else even more. That's what I got. Check back again with you tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.